Hello everyone and welcome to April's round of my Cat-Walk TBR Springboard Edition. A couple of rule changes. So this is the second time I am playing my April round. I didn't even finish the April round the first time. So couple of changes. Now I'm going to say the only punishment is if I roll a double on the dice. No more double prompts, no more double squares or all of that. I ended up, I've just got to make it a little bit more simple. I was up to needing to get 24 prompts for my April game. Plus I had landed on 2 of the fresh prompts, which on the springboard is a Booktubers TBR games. So that's 24 prompts from my game. So 24 books at least, plus whatever those Booktubers do, plus if I can't. So yeah, that's the only punishment with playing. I mean, it's the same thing. I'm still doing the colors. So if I can't find the color, then if I can't combine the color and the prompt, then I split it. I'm still doing that. But as far as the actual role play, I'm still starting out with 5 rolls, but the only punishment is going to be if I roll a double. Yeah, part of the problem with the game last time was the editing software that I used for these videos. I can only use 1 memory card at a time, so my memory card was getting full and so I couldn't do anymore. So I am going to try things just a little bit differently, as far as instead of like holding up my phone to do that, I'm going to try to do a screen record on my laptop that's off to the side here, and insert, was turning it on, it had to recognize me, and insert stuff. Now, what I am going to do, I got these TBR cards from Once Upon a Book Club a while ago, and I have not figured out how to get these involved. In the future, what I am going to do, I still need to create my summer Cat-Walk TBR board, and I would like to do a challenge board. I've still got to figure that out. But in the future, when I get a double, it will be to switch boards. Someone gave me that idea on a previous video, and I love that idea. So I will implement that, but it won't be until the fall at the earliest. So, but for right now, if I roll, I'm starting out with 5 prompts. If I roll a double, I'll add a roll. But I'm going to implement this, and I'm still going to figure that out. I still need to figure that out, how I'm going to implement these cards, as far as if I roll a double, it's because it's 2 dice, it's adding 2 books, adding 1 an extra roll for my game, and then 1 for this. That's probably what I'm going to do. That's not going to be nearly as bad as like saying, oh, if I get a prompt 2 times, if I hit this square 2 times, or end up at this 5 times, and I've just got to not let it get so out of hand. So, and this is not mandatory. Same rule. If I don't complete my TBR, there's no punishment for that, because life happens and sometimes you enter in a slump, and I just don't want to punish myself for something like that. So, for anything like that. So if I don't complete it, my TBR, there's never any punishment. Or sometimes I'm more of a mood read and I don't pick up what I picked and I read other stuff. So it just helps. I have over 1,000 unread books. So it's a little daunting to try and pick stuff, a little overwhelming, and so it narrows that huge number down to a much more manageable number to pick from. So that's all this does. It's more like a stack of possibilities type of a situation. So we're going to do that. If I roll a double, it's adding 2 books. 1 is adding an extra roll for my TBR game, and then 1 book to fulfill this, to try to pull these. So we're going to try that and see, and then I'll know next round if more changes need to be made or not. But we're going to try that, see how I like it. So yeah, with all of that being said, now I'm filming this on March 15th. So, obviously I have not completed my TBR, which it doesn't matter anyway. I have read 3 physical books so far, 2 or 3 ebooks, and I'm now reading a physical book. And it's just, I'm just kind of, I've been busy, so I haven't been picking up the book as often as I want to. So that's just life. Let's go ahead and delve into these roles. So I think I've got things figured out. The screen recording, I've pinned that to my taskbar down here so it'll be easier. So random number generator, we're going to figure out where I am starting. We're using this kind of a pink color today, so let's figure out where I'm going to start. So I have 30 spaces on the board. Okay, we're starting on space number 21. All right. Okay, so I've paused the recording on my computer, and we'll see if I need it for another something. I don't think I will, but all right. Prompt number 1. All right, so a 5 and a 3, so I'm moving 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 May flowers. Okay, and I have my spring prompts off to the side here. May flowers is to, I think, flowers on the cover. Yes, so flowers on the cover. Okay, so flowers on the cover, and now I need a colored card because we need to figure out what color needs to be on that card, or on the cover. Okay, this is kind of a gray. It's called Rainy Day, and it's number 13-5304. So flowers on the cover with this color. All right, so adjusting my shirt here, hang on. All right, so prompt number 1, as you can see, landed on May flowers. And this is to read a book that has a flower or flowers, at least one flower on the cover. And then the color that I drew was number 135304, which is titled Rainy Day. So the book that I'm going with is The House Witch number 2 by Delemhach. So as far as the flowers go, there is a flower right here on the table. There's sunflowers right here, so that works. As far as the color goes, there's some letters under the crown here where it looks like that is a pretty good match. And then there's like paper under the bread here. It's like in the darker shading of the candles, so it looks like it's there. It's a pretty close match. So, The House Witch by Delemhach. As a wielder of, now again, this is volume 2. As a wielder of domestic magic, Finlay Ashowen likes to keep his affairs as neat and orderly as his kitchen. But between his work for the King and Queen of Daxaria and a new secret relationship with Lady Annika Genoir, his life is anything but tidy. For one thing, if Annika and Finn are to continue their romance, they'll need to sort out the pesky issue of Finn's being a commoner before Annika is forced into a political marriage that interferes with her own carefully laid plans. For another, pressure is mounting as the war with Trovach draws ever closer. When Finn requests time away from the castle to rest, the king agrees, but under a very particular condition. Finn must brave the streets of Ostis as a spy, sleuthing out the plans of the Trovachian troops allegedly hidden there. Further complicating things, Finn's estranged father is on his way to Daxaria, an unexpected and unappreciated arrival that's bound to wreak even more havoc in his son's life. Whatever word I'm trying to say. As Finn forges new friendships and alliances, magical and non-magical alike, he becomes even more enmeshed in courtly intrigues, old feuds, and very personal problems. And the more he tries to clean up the various messes in his life, the more apparent it becomes that his troubles are only just beginning. And this is like a cozy fantasy. This is a fun series. Okay, number 2. Okay, 6 and a 2, so moving 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Easter. Okay, and Easter is to read a book with spring vibes on the cover. All right, so spring vibes on the cover plus this green. So I'm trying to keep those kind of, there we go. Limeade, number 13-0645. Prompt number 2 was Easter. This is to read a book that gives spring vibes, however it is that I interpret that. Or if you're playing along, how you interpret it. So spring vibes, and then the color that I drew for that is number 13-0645, aka Limeade. So it's kind of a green color. So spring vibes, and you will have seen these books. These are books that I'm trying to prioritize. So they've been on previous TBRs. I just didn't get to them. I'm trying to get them in when I can. So the book that I'm going with for spring vibes is The Whole Cat and Caboodle. This is book number 1 in a second chance cat mystery. This is a cozy mystery series written by Sofie Ryan. So as you can see from the cover, there's like some flowers here. There's some flowers here, kind of pastel on the door that you can see looking in through the doorway here. So I think it's close enough to spring vibes, especially with the 2 things of flowers. So I'm going to go with it. As far as the color goes, so in the potted plant right next to the black cat here, there are some leaves. And I'm thinking that in the shading of these leaves, especially around the outer edge where the sun hits, with the shading, it looks pretty spot on to this. So that's what I'm going to go with. This one says, Sarah Grayson is the happy proprietor of Second Chance, a charming shop in the oceanfront town of North Harbor, Maine. At the shop, she sells used items that she has lovingly refurbished and repurposed. But her favorite pet project so far has been adopting a stray cat she named Elvis. Elvis has seen 9 lives and then some. The big black cat with the scar across his nose turned up at a local bar when the band was playing the King of Rock and Roll's music, and he hopped into Sarah's truck. Since then, he's been her constant companion and the furry favorite of everyone who comes into the store. But when Sarah's elderly friend Maddie is found with the body of a dead man in her garden, the kindly old lady becomes the prime suspect in the murder. Even Sarah's old high school flame, investigator Nick Elliott, seems convinced that Maddie was up to no good. So it's up to Sarah and Elvis to clear her friend's name and make sure the real murderer doesn't get a second chance. So I like cozy mysteries. They're fun. They're quick reads. Entertaining. Not to be taken seriously. They're just fun. Okay. Prompt number 3. Okay, so we're already implementing my new rule, so I do have a double. So I'm moving 8 spots. Before I do that, though, okay, let's get out my TBR cards. Okay, give these a shuffle. All right, so adding a roll plus we're adding a book for this is what I'm going with. Okay. So this says, choose a book someone gifted to you. I should be able to do this if I can remember which ones. But this should not be a problem. Now, all right. I still want to use these cards, colored cards. So for that TBR card, so a book that's been gifted to me that also has this color, which is number 4545, kind of a yellowy olive color. And as you can see, I rolled a double. So I do like this. I like this change where I don't worry about if I land on the prompt 2 times and adding a prompt and all these other rules that I had. Let's just make it a little bit more simple. But I do like, one, still adding a roll because I got a double. I do like that. I still like doing that. But I also like implementing the TBR card and adding a book. So basically when I get a double, it's adding 2 books. Okay. One from my TBR board and then a TBR card. And the card that I drew was to choose a book someone gifted to you. And then the color that I drew to go along with this is number 4545, which is this color here. So a book that was gifted to me, this was gifted to me for either my birthday or Christmas, because my birthday is December 15th. So it's kind of goes, you know, if I get one gift from someone, it's kind of considered a birthday and Christmas. And sometimes I can't remember if I got it for my birthday or for Christmas. I just know I got it in December. The one I'm going with, this is a Christmas one, a Christmas fiction. It's part of a series, and this is a Christian fiction. This one is called Gideon's Gift by Kingsbury. So this was gifted to me for my birthday or Christmas from a family friend. And then as far as this color goes, I'm considering it in the box here, kind of in the title. It's pretty close. So yeah. Gideon's Gift. This is part of the Red Gloves series. Again, Kingsbury. Let's see. One long ago Christmas, Earl Gibson lost the 2 things most precious to him, his wife and daughter. Angry and heartbroken, he ended up living on the streets and abandoned any belief he'd once had in God. 10 years later, Big Earl meets Gideon, a 7-year-old leukemia patient who believes with all her heart that Christmas means never having to ask God how much he loves us. Gideon is determined to reach this lonely and hurting man who hates Christmas, and he is just as determined to rebuff her. It will take a miracle for Earl to come to understand the true meaning of Christmas, but if he can accept what Gideon wants to give him, he might find that he can return the favor with the precious gift of his own. So, Christmas Christian fiction. So, that works. And it was gifted to me. And yeah, and it's fairly short. It's just over 100 pages, like less than 150. With the postscript, I'm not sure if that's something to read. I think probably is, probably kind of like an epilogue. So with the postscript, it's 143 pages. So fairly quick read is what it looks like, or a fairly short one, like a novella. Okay, so again, I rolled the double. It was 2 4s, so I'm moving 8 spots. So this is for the official 3rd prompt from my game. So for my board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, mental health. So this is to read a book that has mental health representation or disability rep, something like that. Okay. And the color that I want on the cover, I'm hoping the book for autism reads will work for this. Depends on this color, 394. I don't know if this color is on there, but we'll see. So the official roll number 3 for prompt number 3 was mental health. So it's the green ribbon. One of the months is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the color is green. So for mental health, this is to read a book that has mental health rep, could be anxiety, depression, bipolar, anything that's considered mental health related, or disability rep. I wanted to kind of expand it a little bit more. And I'm going with one that kind of fits both. It is a mental health, and it can cause it can cause anxiety and being overwhelmed and stuff like that, as well as it is considered an disability. It is covered under the American with Disabilities Act. And the one I'm going with is autism. Now, I could have used the book for autism reads, the selection for April. However, the color that I drew, where's my card, is number 394, and this color is not on the April selection for autism reads, but there's still autism rep in the book that I picked. And this is actually goes for a book club as well. So the book that I'm going with is Show Us Who You Are by Elle McNicoll. And this, I believe, is a middle grade. As far as the color goes, it's right in there. It's in the shading in here. So, okay, it says, my family never talks about me being autistic. I don't know why. I don't see anything wrong with it, and there is nothing wrong with being autistic. It is like they all forgot until Pomegranate. My brother's company, Pomegranate Institute, creates incredible lifelike holograms that allow people to talk to actors, musicians, and even family long after they've died. And they want to make a gram of me because I am autistic, because I see things other people miss. And there's a lot that neurotypicals can learn from my brain. My best friend, Adrian, doesn't think it's such a good idea. But Adrian isn't here right now, and I know what it's like to lose someone. I don't ever want to have to say goodbye again. So that is the mental health and disability rep. So show us who you are. Okay, I think this is going a lot better. I think I like this rule change. Okay, I'm going for a little crooked there. Prompt number 4. Moving 5 spots with a 3 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Patrick's Day, a book with a green cover. This can be any shade of green. So any shade of green plus whatever color I pull here. This brown, caramel. Okay, number 161439. So green and caramel. All right, prompt number 4 was Patrick's Day. This is to read a book that has green on the cover, can be any shade of green. And then the color that I drew, so it has to have green on the cover plus this color, which is number 161439, caramel or caramel, however the heck you say it. I say caramel. So it needs to have as close to the shade as possible. For this one, I am going with Weyward by Emilia Hart. As you can see, there are several shades of green. As far as the caramel color, there's a mushroom here, and somewhere in the shading on the top of the mushroom, it looks pretty close to that. So I'm going with that. This one has a couple of different timelines. So 2019, under cover of darkness, Kate flees London for ramshackle Weyward cottage, inherited from a great aunt, however it is that you want to say that, great aunt, she barely remembers. With its tumbling ivy and overgrown garden, the cottage is worlds away from the abusive partner who tormented Kate. But she soon suspects that her great aunt had a secret, one that lurks in the bones of the cottage, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. 1619. Altha is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. When Altha was a girl, her mother taught her their magic, a kind not rooted in spellcasting but in a deep knowledge of the natural world. But unusual women have always been deemed dangerous, and as the evidence of witchcraft is laid out against Altha, she knows it will take all her powers to maintain her freedom. 1942. As World War II rages, Violet is trapped in her family's grand, crumbling estate. Straitjacketed by social convention, she longs for the robust education her brother receives, and for her mother, long deceased, who was rumored to have gone mad before her death. The only traces Violet has of her are a locket bearing the initial W and the word Weyward scratched into the baseboard of her bedroom. So, sounds good. All right, working on prompt number 5 now. Okay, moving 6 spots with a 4 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cinco de Mayo. This is to celebrate Mexico's Independence Day with their victory over the French at the Battle of Pueblo. So this is to read a book that is translated. So, oh, you probably can't see that very well. So it's this prompt that I landed on. Cinco de Mayo. Okay, so a translated book plus... Let's go with this one. Oh, this kind of a pink color. Number 677. Prompt number 5 is Cinco de Mayo, and the color that I got for this is number 677. And Cinco de Mayo is to read a book that is translated. It can be translated from any English into my native language or the one that I read, which is English. So anything translated from any language into English. I'm going with this color 677. I'm going with a manga, and I'm going with Children of the Whales, Volume 3 by Umeda. And this was translated, not 100% on the language. Let me see if it says in the back here. Sometimes it does. Okay, first published in Japan. So this is translated from Japanese. So, and it's a manga. The mud whales is in dire trouble. In 4 days, the Imperial Alpheus soldiers will return to destroy it and its inhabitants. But the committee of elders would rather kill everyone on board than wait for the mercy of the Empire. And the fighters of the island will do... and the fighters of the island will do the elders' bidding without a second thought. Now, Chakuro and the other children are forced by circumstances to rebel against the adults in order to save their home and their lives. So, as far as the color, it's in the shading. It's of like the skin. It looks pretty spot on. I can see it mostly in the fingers here, but in the arm too. So, yeah. Okay. And what might be the last roll. Yes, this is the last roll. So a 4 and a 1, moving 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blooming. So blooming is for, the book has to be new. A new purchase, a new to me author, starting a new series, something like that. So those are just examples. But I need to justify it being new in some way. Also need to have color, this green one. 3, 2, 7, 8. Okay. And then the last roll, so the last prompt for my TBR game is blooming. This is to read a book that is new. Could be a new acquisition, a new to me author, starting a new series if I've read from the author before. I just have to justify that it is new. And this fits new author, a new series, and a new acquisition because I just got this in March. And the book I am talking about is Last Round by Frankie Page. And the color that I drew is this green one, number 3728. So, and I'm counting it right here in the word round. So, it says, mistake number 1, hitting on my best friend's little sister. Mistake number 2, not recognizing her. Mistake number 3, do you know what? Never mind. Let's just say, ever since the smoking hot redhead walked into my bar and threw a drink in my face, I've been a fucking mess. That's it. No punchline. Because my life has turned into one giant cosmic joke. Worst part is, it doesn't end there. I've tried to ignore her, remind myself of all the reasons this could never happen. But Molly Walsh has other plans, and listening to my bullshit excuses ain't one of them. She might only be $1.20 soaking wet, but she's got this former light heavyweight champ on the ropes. I want her and she knows it. The dangerous part is, she wants me too. She's 12 years younger than me. She's my employee, and if her brother finds out, he's going to kill me. So yeah, so new to me author. This is book number 1 in a series. I think it's called it says it's a Murphy's Bar novel, so I'm wondering if that's the name of the series. And again, I just got this in March, so a new acquisition. So that's it. Those are all of the books for my April Cat-Walk TBR. So 7 books, and I'm pretty happy with this step. Let me know, what are you planning on reading in April? Is there something you're really excited to get to? Is there a book club that you're going to do in April, or a readathon? Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Have you read from any of these authors, or have you read any of these books? Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I will talk to you later.